how can I do this full time? And that's the ambition. The end of 2024, I'll be doing print on demand full time.
Awesome. Hey everyone, my name is Joe Robert.
Hi, my name is Barry Hodge.
And today we're going to talk about how Barry grew his print-on-demand store to over $50,000 in sales. Well, thanks Barry for joining me here on the channel. Why don't we start with results? How much sales has your store actually made at this point?
At the moment, I've made £54,000 in sales. I think that comes to about $64,000, I believe. So
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's going well.
Cool. And how many total orders on the site have you had?
Well, now 1,924, so nearly at the 2,000 mark.
Cool. So about 2,000 orders, over 50,000 pounds, about $64,000 in sales. That's awesome. When did you start the store? Not when did you start making sales, but when did you actually open the print-on-demand store?
So the store opened in May 2019, and so I'm just sort of starting into my fourth year now.
Awesome. How many of those years were like good? Because I know you and I have talked a little bit, but we've known each other online for a little bit, and I know that there was a little bit of a learning period. When did the sales actually start to begin to add up for you?
Yeah, so I would say sort of the first year, maybe even 18 months, the sales were quite sporadic. There wasn't that many sales, and also low margin as well. But I would say in the last sort of 18 months, that's when the store really has started to pick up and sales are being made on a daily basis.
What is your plan? I know we were talking earlier, you have some pretty ambitious goals for the site next year. Maybe talk a little bit about that, and then we'll kind of circle back on some of the things that went on with the store around the 18-month mark.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm making regular sales daily. The question really that I have is, okay, so how do I scale this? How can I take this to be my full-time income? So rather than having my day job, which I do, and I do this alongside in the evenings after work, how can I do this full-time? And that's the ambition. The end of 2024, I'll be doing print on demand full-time.
Awesome. That's really cool. I've seen tons of people do really well with their stores, obviously. How many mugs do you have at this point from POD University?
So I have the 50K mug. Yeah, I got that, I think, probably 2 monks ago now. So yeah, so obviously the next one really I'm aiming for is the 100K mug. So
yeah, awesome.
Let's see if I can get that in early 24.
I mean, at this point, we've sent out about 100 mugs total, but there's a few of you that are toying with the idea of going full-time. There's a few that have gone full-time. If you're watching this, what we're trying to do is not make POD kind of seem like it's this get-rich-quick thing that you're going to instantly quit your job. What we're trying to do is help you to see people's stories with their store, right? People that have gotten started with POD and eventually turned it into something profitable. Barry, talk me through a little bit. When you first started, you mentioned about 18 months ago, that's when the sales really started to come in on a consistent basis. Talk me through what that was like in terms of you seeing the sales, you realizing that this was beginning to work. Did you tell anybody about this? What conversations did you have with others? Tell me the story of how that all started to happen.
I mean, I still get the buzz now, when you get the little ting from Shopify to say you've made a sale, and then you might get another ting later on in the day. And when you get to that stage of you just, every day you'll just have one sale, and it may only be one that you're making, but you know that then the next day you make another one, and you chat to friends and family and you sort of say, another sale. And they're like, yeah, but it's only one sale. How does that? They don't sort of see that this could scale to be 2 sales a day, to 3 sales a day. So you do get a little bit of people going, well, that's taking ages. It's not. And that's the sort of that misconception of this get rich quick scheme. You're not going to make hundreds of sales straight off the bat, but you are going to make one every other day. And that's, it still gives me the buzz now when I get that ting.
Sure. I think it's something you just said, obviously this is a process, right? And what you're doing right now is you're looking at this and you're saying, wow, the process I have in place works, generating sales on a daily basis. Now what I need to do is try to do whatever I'm doing now more, so this can be my full-time job by the end of next year. As we're making this video, it's October. So you're hoping within the next 12 to 14 months that this is a full-time thing for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm confident I can do that as well.
Awesome. Let's go back a little bit. You have a print-on-demand store. You're selling on Shopify, right?
Yes.
And how are you making sales?
So predominantly the Facebook ads.
Okay.
So I'm advertising on Facebook and Instagram, but majority of my orders come through Facebook.
Okay.
And then there's a little bit of email marketing as well once people have bought, to then encourage them to come back and buy again.
Sure. And on average, when it comes to Facebook ads right now that you are running, what are you spending per day? Like, what's your daily budget right now?
So right now, as of today, my daily budget is £15, and that is for 3 ads. So £5 per ad, in effect.
Cool. So basically $15 a day in total, but you have 3 ads running at $5 a day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing too, right? Is that a lot of people, they see, maybe big numbers on different stores and things like that, and they think that they need to have like thousands of dollars in ad spend available to be able to market their products. And I think, again, you're just another example that you really don't need that. No, I'm not saying over the entire lifetime of your store that you haven't spent a lot of money, but on a daily basis, it's not like this multi-$1,000 investment that you have, in terms of marketing. Talk us through, like, when you start ads, what is the budget that you actually start them at?
So I start with £1 when I'm trying to find my audience. So typically I do sort of £1 ads just to see, is that audience got the right, the interest, so you can target different interest groups. Once I've got that, I then create an ad for £5 per day and targeted to that audience. Sure. So the reason I'm running 3 ads at the moment is I've got 3 different interest groups that I'm targeting with each of those ads. 2 of the ads have the same creative, so they look identical. They're just targeting different audiences.
Sure.
And one has an older creative.
Awesome. I think, again, perfect example of, you can start slow with ads. You don't need to launch 50 different ads every single day in order to, make consistent sales. How long, the ads that you're running right now, those 3, how long have those been running for?
The older ad with the older creative, that's been running since about June this year. Okay. And the new creative, that only launched in October. So that's only been going, these are in their 2nd week now. So at some point, what I might do is whichever one's performing the best, I'd probably stop the one that's not performing as well, and then look to potentially do another ad, another creative. So that's what I'll look at.
Sure. Awesome. How much time per day are you spending on all the marketing? Like, I know you mentioned that one ad's been up since June. That was about 4 months ago. The other one's on like its 2nd week, you said. So is this something that you're spending like just a few minutes a day on, or are you doing other things? Like, talk us through, like, in terms of the marketing, how much time per day you're actually spending on all of this.
So with Facebook ads, once they're running, there's a real danger that you can almost be hitting refresh every 5 minutes, hoping for another sale. And you've got to be really careful in terms of just, look at it every day. How's it performing? But don't panic. I've been running the first ad, I think I ran for a whole week in October, and it didn't make a sale. And you have that thing, should I change something? Should I? And it's the classic case of hold your nerve. And then you start to see in the 2nd week, I don't know whether Facebook's learning how to target your audience. Then you start to get the sales, and then you see it grow. So those have been running for about 2 weeks.
Cool. Or are you the type of person that every 5 minutes, like you joked about, is refreshing the ads?
Yeah, so just a couple of minutes a day, and that's it, just to see how things are going.
Cool. Before we talk about like what you're selling on the site, how much time per day do you think over like the last 18 months or so, as you've been making a lot of these sales, you have about 2,000 orders on the store. How much time are you doing in terms of just like customer service? Do you have a lot of people that reach out, have questions, or maybe complaints about some of the items?
So I don't have too many complaints, thankfully. I do have a couple of emails coming through, but in terms of customer service, I'm not spending more than probably 30 minutes a day, whether it's responding to chats on the store or whether it's emails. So no more than half an hour a day, really.
Sure. Now you're doing something that we talked about prior to actually hitting the record button in terms of like how you are standing by your products with your customers. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, and then how much extra work that actually creates for you, if any at all?
Yeah, so absolutely. So I have 100% money back guarantee on my store, regardless. So I could ship the product to the customer. The customer can look at it and say, I don't like this. It's not what I thought it would be. And I'd automatically say, you can have a full refund and you keep the product. So
you have it written on your store, just like that.
On the store.
Like you have like
money back guarantee.
Awesome. Yeah. And how long has that been on there? Has that been on there for the whole shebang? Like as you've made all these sales, it's been on there, yeah?
Yeah, right from day one. I think I've had to give about maximum 2 refunds a year.
Wow. So not a lot of people are actually taking you up on it, which means that they're probably happy with the product, but it means that, sometimes people maybe would get nervous to offer such a strong guarantee like that. They would think that maybe everybody would ask for a refund. And do you think maybe it's helping you to actually make more sales because people are like viewing it as like a trust thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had reviews come in as well where people have seen my ad on Facebook and they've said, we weren't sure about this company. Who are they? We don't know who they are. Yeah. We looked at the store. We saw the money back guarantee. We felt there was no risk. We bought and we're delighted with the product.
Sure.
So
that's awesome.
I know that pushed them over the edge, as it were, to make that sale. Sure. So yeah, 100% worth doing.
Do you have any like customer customer reviews on the site? I know you just mentioned that, people are commenting on the ads and saying things like that, but is there any way that you've featured different reviews from customers on the store to help as well?
Yeah, so I use an app, the Luke's app, for reviews. I've got about 200 reviews on the store.
And are they submitting photos with those reviews too? So you have 200 reviews and a photo for each one?
Yeah, that's the great thing about the app, because you can offer discounts for people to post the review, and if they put a photo, they get a bigger discount. So yeah, those are the better reviews to use, I think, with the photos.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you do anything on the site with like discounts? Are you offering like a sale on the ad, or is it just regular price all day long and people are buying it? Maybe just talk through like a discount strategy if you have one.
Yes, I offer a 15% discount. I did used to offer a 10% discount, but I found by offering 15, I get a greater number of sales. So it's more profitable to offer 15. And what I try and do is I try and do a themed discount. So at the moment, obviously, we're recording in October. So the Halloween discount code is on there, and there'll be a Christmas one coming soon. So there's always a discount offered on the store.
Do you tell people the discount code is expiring at some point, or is it just say like use code Halloween 15 to get 15% off with no expiration?
No, so I always put a date on there. So the Halloween discount code will end on the 31st of October, and then there'll be a new discount code launched on the 1st of November.
So you basically, I'm not saying that you are doing exactly what I say. I'm not taking credit for your sales, but that's exactly what I talk about here on the channel, right? Trying to create urgency on the site, right? Try to create urgency with the sale, right? And I think that you're proof that this does work. I think sometimes what people do is they just mark everything down on the site, right? So then someone comes on the store, everything's just on sale. There's no end in sight. There's no urgency for people to buy today. And the way that you're doing it, if people are landing there, they're saying, wow, like this sale's going on now. If I don't take advantage of it, this code is going to expire. So really cool stuff there. I've also found, I don't know if you've noticed this, if you've ever done it the opposite way, but I've also found that I actually make more sales when I do a discount code. For whatever reason, a discount code over a markdown for me converts better. I think maybe people get excited to use a code compared to just like a sale. So if you're watching, maybe experiment, with that strategy as well. Awesome stuff so far, Barry. Talk me through your store. I think we haven't really mentioned it, but you are, doing a niche shop, meaning you're selling to just one niche. What made you do that? Were there ever any other niches that you tried, or was this the first one from the beginning?
So it was the first one from the beginning. I did look at doing Shopify with drop shipping before I even found out about print on demand. And again, that's quite generic. So it's hard to stand out in the market. So for me, I wanted to do a niche store, having had a go at that. And that's why I went into the niche that I'm in now, focusing on one niche. And that's a lot easier to target people on that.
You don't have to reveal the niche or anything like that, but is it a niche that you're personally like a member of, or is this just a niche that you thought would be a good one for a print on demand store?
Yeah, so I am almost my target customer. So based on my experience, and that makes it a lot easier as well. If you can pick something where you can understand and want the product yourself, that makes it a lot easier.
I don't know if I'm like an anomaly or something, but like I have like hardly ever sold to niches that myself am a member of. And I don't know if that's just because I don't have that many cool things about me and I don't have like that many really cool hobbies or interests or anything like that. But I would agree, if you're someone watching and you're like trying to make traction and you don't know what to do with your store and you're looking for something that you can, have fun with and also maybe make some money with, I think it might be a good idea for you to at least give a niche that you are passionate about or that you are a member of a shot. I think that could, like Barry said, help you to, maybe create, better things on the site. In terms of like total amount of products on the store, how many do you have right now?
I have probably about, I think it's something really crazy, like 200 products on the store. The reason why it's so many is because I've tried products which haven't worked. So sometimes you'll develop a product and you say, oh, that will sell really well, and it just doesn't. So move on, pick another product, So I've got mugs, notebooks, as you try and find different niches. So about 200, I'm focusing on a core, probably 5 or 6, really, I would say.
So out of your almost 2,000 orders, you would say those are probably 5 to 6 products.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And then would you say that the majority of the ones that haven't sold maybe were in that like year-long period at the beginning when you weren't really making consistent sales, or have you just consistently over time tried to add new things?
Yeah. So initially I started with mugs, and there's a low margin in mugs. It's very difficult to make profit with mugs. So then you move on and you try other things. And initially I was going for notebooks and sort of quite low margin products. But then actually when you start to maybe expand to say do doormats or wall art, you've got bigger margins in there, and
Sure.
it's a lot easier to sell those.
Cool. Now you're doing something a little bit unique with the actual products that you're selling on the site. Before we talk about that, what are, if you were to just like maybe pick like your top 3 products that you're sourcing from a like print on demand app that's synced to your store, what would those products be, if you could just give people a tip there?
Yeah, so my biggest product is a wall art. That's kind of the number one. Found that resonates with my audience better than some of the other products. But strangely, aprons are really popular.
Cool.
So particularly around summer, barbecue season, and Christmas. So they're a popular product at those seasonal times.
Sure. You know, that is honestly the first time I've ever thought of aprons during like the winter holidays. And that makes a ton of sense because people are baking, people are cooking. I recently made a video here on the channel where I did review print on demand aprons, and I was talking about them only in a grilling summertime barbecue sense. So that's a good point. I never thought about the holidays. One of the products that Barry is selling, the reason why I said earlier he's doing something a little bit unique, is a product that he's actually sourcing locally. He's doing print on demand with a local print on demand company, in addition to, you know, some traditional print on demand suppliers that have, you know, apps available on the Shopify app store, because he's doing some of that as well with like the aprons, and he mentioned doormats and some other things earlier. But talk us through, Barry, a little bit about how you went about sourcing the product that you're selling with a local supplier.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to sell metal signs that T-Launch do. Unfortunately for me, being based in the UK, they don't sell them over here. So I thought, well, I really want to do that product.
Sure.
How can I do that? So I actually took the picture of the T-Launch image of the wall sign, and I put it on local business Facebook groups and said, can anyone in the local area make this for me?
Sure.
And a company said, yeah, we can do something like that for you. And then that's how you get into conversation with them and creating the product locally.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think, you know, people watching this might be maybe a little bit nervous to do that, but the reason I had you share it is because that's an option. You know, if there's a product that you want to sell that either doesn't exist from a print on demand supplier, or maybe it does in your case, right? You were talking about the metal sign from T-Launch, which is an awesome product. Unfortunately, T-Launch at this time that we're filming this only ships it to the United States. If you're looking to sell it elsewhere, you can't. And you basically took their mock-up, posted it in a local group, and found someone that could do something like that for you. And that's basically some really cool advice. So if you're watching this and there's a product that you want to sell that you can't, maybe do what Barry did. Post it in a local group, ask if there's anyone that can do it, and you might be surprised if someone actually can. How about this, Barry? Let me kind of put you on the spot a little bit. If I'm someone that is just getting into POD, I'm excited, I have lots of different ideas, I'm going to build my print on demand store, I want to sell on social media. In your opinion, what would be maybe some advice, or like what would be something that you would advise me to pay like extra attention to? Like what would be something that you could see me, you know, maybe screwing up or needing help with?
So the first thing I would say is get going. So I think a lot of people, they don't just get going, just make a start, and you may make mistakes. So in terms of picking the wrong product, like I did, you know, you got apps, for example, like Printify, where you've got so many different products to choose from.
Sure.
Pick something, put your design on it. If it doesn't sell, don't worry too much. Pick maybe a different product, put the same design on it, and try different things, see what works for your audience. And then once you find something that works, then run with that, and then maybe create additional designs for that type of product. So you sort of branch out from the product rather than offering lots of products, really.
So basically your advice is make sure you start, but when you do start slow, and it's okay if the results are slow. The key is to just keep going and to kind of try to rework things until it works. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Cool, man. Well, again, I appreciate the time. I hope this was helpful for people watching, and here's to your big 2024. You know, and I'm sure we'll talk, but just kind of publicly wishing you good luck on your store and, you know, trying to take it full time. And again, I appreciate the time.
No, thank you very much. Great to be with you.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you next time.